Hello and welcome to this video tutorial where I'm going to explain to you how to use Zoom during the EMEUS International World Assembly. I'm not going to look at how to install Zoom because there's another video on this. And then if you go to our website assembly-mondial-emeus.org, you'll also find another video on how to vote online. In this video, let's just focus on how to use Zoom during the World Assembly. You're going to receive an email that looks like this. It contains 3 different links corresponding to the 3 days of the World Assembly. Let's click on day 1. And now you can see that the Zoom window opens in my browser, and you need to click on Open Zoom Meeting. Okay, you can see the window now on the screen. I can see myself on the screen. Now I click on Join with Video. And then you'll find yourself in the waiting room. This is very normal. Someone's going to let you in very shortly. Okay, so now someone lets you in and you're now in the meeting room. You need to click on Join with Computer Audio and then you can hear the sound. When you join the meeting, it may be that your camera's not on. If this is the case, go down to the bottom left of your screen. There's a Stop Video and Start Video button. You just need to click on the icon to turn it on or turn the video off. When the red line is through it, that means that the video is off. And when that line is not there, it means it's on. You should be able to see yourself on the screen. Okay, so now you're in the meeting itself, and we're going to get started with the EMEUS International World Assembly. So what we're going to look at now is how you can participate with the other participants, to have conversations, to also request the floor. If you can already hear the other participants, that's a good sign. That means that your speakers are working well. If this is not the case, then go to the microphone icon. You can see an arrow. Click on the arrow and you'll be able to check what equipment is being used by Zoom. If you look at that same menu once again, you can also test your speakers and test your microphone. I've already presented how to do a Zoom test in the How to Install Zoom video. So if you would like to carry out a test, then please do refer to that video. There's something very practical on this list. If you click on Audio Settings and you go up to the top, click on General, you'll see there's a number of different boxes that can be ticked. If you tick Always Show Meeting Controls, this will be very helpful during the World Assembly because you'll always be able to see the different controls that appear. So one thing to bear in mind is that there are many participants who will be joining us on Zoom, and so if we have the microphones on, that means we're going to be able to hear all of the background noise, the cars passing, people passing by. So for that reason, we're going to mute all of the different microphones. All of the participants will be muted. However, if you request the floor, then we will be able to reactivate your microphone. But in a general way, if you want to check whether your microphone is on or off, then go down to the bottom left of your screen. There's a microphone icon. If it has a red line through it, that means that it's off. And you just need to click on the icon once again to turn it back on. Then we'll be able to hear you. Then, of course, the opposite is true. If you need to turn it off, then you need to click on it so that you can see the red line through it once again. But the most of the time, as I've said, we're going to mute all participants just to make sure that there's no disturbances and background noises which could then disrupt our meetings. So please do not worry if you're not able to turn on your microphone. That's normal. You can always use the chat that's open at all times. If you have any technical issues, then use our hotline number. And of course, if you want to request the floor, I'm going to explain to you what you need to do so that we know that you want to say something and we'll be able to activate your microphone. So without further ado, let's look at how to do that. Let's start with language, because the World Assembly is going to be available in the 3 official languages. So down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a globe icon. You need to click on that. You can see a short menu where you can select the language of your choice to listen to the meeting. Now, if you want to say something, you need to look at the reactions button, which is right down at the bottom of your screen. You'll be able to see the raise hand button. Once you click on that button, Then we'll know that you want to say something and we'll be able to add you to the list of participants who have requested the floor. When it's your turn to speak, the facilitator will call your name and a pop-up window will appear which will allow you to turn your microphone on. Once you've finished speaking, you can turn off your microphone down at the bottom left and then go to the 3 dots on your image and click on lower hand. So I want to just repeat once again, the only way of requesting the floor is to use this raise hand function. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to manage any requests for the floor that are made in the chat, or if you're waving at the camera, we're just not going to be able to see, but there's just too many participants. So please do check in advance that you understand what you need to do in terms of raising your hand so that you can request the floor on the day itself. Another tool that I mentioned a few minutes ago is the chat. You can ask questions in the chat. It might be technical or general questions about the sessions at the World Assembly, or it could be something related to the content, which will then be passed on to those that are hosting the session, and they'll take that into consideration. So I'm going to show you how to use the chat right now. During the meeting, there's a button at the bottom of your screen which says chat. Click on that button and then you'll be able to open up the window on your screen where you can see all of the different messages that have been sent already. And of course you can write your own message. All you have to do is to press enter to send it. By default, all of the messages are sent to everyone. That means everyone who's signed in will be able to see what you're writing. But you can also select one individual in particular to send a direct or personal message. The messages that are sent to everyone should preferably be written in English, French or Spanish, because they're going to be read by the team. They're going to be passed on to those who are running the sessions. So you can ask questions, you can make comments, react to different comments, and this is another way that you can participate in the World Assembly. So I think we've covered most of the functions now, but I'd like to look at one function which relates to the view of the meeting. And this gives you the ability to adjust how you see and how you view the meeting very slightly. So the menu is accessible at the top right of your screen. If you click on View, then you can see that there are a number of different options, like Speaker View, for example, or Gallery. Speaker view allows you to see the person speaking, and you can see this side by side with the presentation which is being shown if there's a document being shown. So this is a very practical way because you can adjust the size accordingly. You can also go back to gallery view, which will then show all of the different participants on half of the screen if we are showing a document at the same time, or the full screen if nobody's sharing their screen. You can also click on Standard, which will then show you the list of participants in a pop-up screen, which you can then move around your screen as you like. By default, you're normally on the full screen mode. However, if you go up to View, you can exit full screen, which is also practical as well because it enables you to be able to see the chat at the side of your screen or perhaps the different participants. So I think that we've covered all of the essentials to participate in the MEUS International's World Assembly, but now I would like to mention something which is incredibly important to us as the organisers of the meeting. Please do check the name that appears when you sign into Zoom, because this is the only information that we're going to have to find out what group you're from, what region you're from, and also to be able to manage the request for the floor, but also between the different participants. It facilitates your conversations if we know who's speaking. So it needs to be a name which is easily understandable to people at MEUS. Now, it could well be that by default, when you sign in, it's just your personal email that appears as your name. Or it could well be that it's a nickname, for example, that you're very well known by in your local area, but we don't know. So to make sure that we know who you are, you need to check how your name is displayed, and I'm going to show you how to change the name so that we can see what group you're from. and what your first name is. So let's look at that now. So you need to go down to the participants button. Once you can see the list of participants, find your own name, then click on more, and then you'll see the rename button, and then you'll be able to change the name that appears on the screen. So perhaps put your group name followed by your first name, then you click on OK to confirm it, and then you can make sure that the name has been changed correctly. Okay, so I think we've covered everything now. Of course, there's a lot more that you can find out. There are many tutorials which you can find online about how to use Zoom, so please do consult them and make sure that you're familiar in advance, because this will make the experience of the 3 half days that we have together much smoother and much more pleasant. Just as a reminder, all of the different tutorial videos are available on assemblée-mondiale-emmaus.org. But if you have any questions, then please do write to us at assembléemondiale@emmaus-international.org. I look forward to seeing you soon at our World Assembly.